abort as a RH negative person carrying a fetus of RH positive, once the abortion is done, then there is a signal that the body receives that that baby, since it's a positive child, that baby is strange and is foreign. Since they've been able to conquer the baby, the person will likely have a problem of miscarriages. That the person will just keep having miscarriage at the stage of pregnancy that that baby was aborted. So I said the blood cells of the baby is destroyed. It may lead to miscarriage, abortion, stillbirth, severe anemia, or even death shortly after the baby is born. So it's a very critical factor that people should consider, especially when they want to marry or even when they are pregnant to deliver. That is why once you are pregnant, just go to register and the medical practitioners will know what to do. Now, when a father with RH positive marries a woman with RH negative, the couple may face the risk of having children with genetic disorder, because it is very, very likely that the child, since the mother is RH negative, the child may carry the RH positive from the father, and the child may have genetic disorder in the event. So once that is detected early, the nurses and doctors know what to do so as to prevent such any miscarriage or genetic disorder in the baby. Then when the father is negative and the mother is positive, there is no problem. When both are negative, there is no problem. When both are positive also, there is no problem. So it is the mother or the female that should be very, very much careful when they are negative, so that proper medical attention should be given to them. Then another application of variation is determination of paternity. Or maybe there is dispute about who is the father of this child and things like that. So they can this variation, blood group, DNA, can help identify who the real father of the child is. Then another application is in anthropology and evolution. Some blood groups that are found in man are also found in apes, such as monkeys, gorillas, and co. So, and that is helping to tell or to confirm the evidence that man and apes are closely related. Then another application of variation is that it helps in classification of human race based on their color variation. Evolution. We're looking at the theories of evolution. Organic evolution is the evolution of living organism. The evolution of living organism is called organic evolution. It is the sum total of adaptive changes from the earliest and most primitive organisms that have taken place over a long period of time by mutations that are inheritable in order to survive. So the sum total of adaptive changes, once environmental condition changes, there is a change in the water, in the air, in whatever. So the changes that individual organism undergoes because of the mutation or environmental changes over a long period of time from the earliest organism in order for them to survive is what we call evolution. This evolution has led to diversity in form, structure, functions among organisms. Many species have become extinct in this continuous series of changes. By the time the environmental condition is not favorable for them any longer, they are not able to reproduce, and when they die, that's just the end, because they don't have little organisms that will continue their traits. The theories of evolution by Jean Lamar, he lived in 1744 to 1829. He was a French scientist, and Charles Darwin, an English scientist who lived between 1809 and 1882. So they were the two people that did a major work on the theories of evolution. So we'll be looking at their theories. First, we look at Lamar Theory. Lamar postulated that changes in environmental conditions create new needs through corresponding changes in the species. So once the environmental condition changes, it creates needs for the organism to change so as to be able to adapt to the environment. Then these changes cause organisms to form new structure of method of functioning. So they have to navigate through by forming structures that will help them to adapt. Then structures which subjected to constant use become well developed. The structures that they keep on using become well developed, whereas those that are not used tend to degenerate. So if there is a particular structure in the body of the organism that is being used, it tends to develop more, while the ones that are not being used tend to degenerate. That is the theory called the theory of use and disuse. So when a particular organ or structure is being used, it develops more. When it's not being used, it tends to degenerate. It suggested that the new characteristics acquired during an individual's lifetime through use could be inherited by subsequent generations. So it was also the one that postulated that by the time there is a structure that is being used in the parents, the children tend to have it. That is, it is being passed down to the offspring, and that theory is called the theory of acquired character. He said the long neck of the modern giraffe arose due to constant stretching through many generations in order to feed on leaves of high branches of tree. Lamar said the necks of giraffes were not as long as that in the initial stages of their life, that due to the fact that they had to stretch their neck to eat leaves on high branches, that continuous stretching of neck over several generations made that structure of their neck to be that long, and it is passed down their generation. It was Lamar that said that. Then he also said that birds have come to rest on water to find water and food. So they have developed web feet through the constant spreading of their toes and stretching of skin. You know the kind of bird that this is talking about. We've talked about adaptive features of birds, and I know you should be able to cast your mind back to ducks. You know ducks have webbed feet. So Lamar also postulated that those birds, those ducks, that they had to come to rest on water, find water and food. So by the time they are spreading their toes in water, that was when they came about developing webbed toes and the stretching of their skin. Lamarck's theory was not popular because there was no decisive evidence to prove that the offspring always inherits the acquired characteristics of their parents in light of the modern knowledge. Now we move on to talk about the second man, that is Charles Darwin, Darwin's theory. Organisms reproduce, and these are his own postulates. These are the things he said. He said organisms reproduce enormous number of offspring and increase their numbers in a geometric ratio. Yet, the number of species tend to remain relatively constant over a long period of time. That is, offspring keep having more children or more offspring now than what their parents had, but yet we have a relatively constant population over a period of time. He also said that there is continuous competition between individuals for food, water, oxygen, and space. Hence, there is a struggle for existence. In this struggle for existence, only those that are better suited for life in the environment will survive. That is, it's a survival of the fittest. Those that are less successful in struggling for food, water, oxygen, and space will die out and become extinct. He also said that all species exhibit structural and functional variations through many generations. The individuals never look or behave exactly alike. This variation affects their chances of survival. He said advantageous variations are inherited by subsequent generations who keep improving on them. So the subsequent generation keep improving on what their parents are. The other variants will have been selected out by losing the battle for existence. So in this battle of survival of the fittest, The ones that are not capable, they lose out and they become extinct, while those that are able to survive, they keep getting better. So what are the evidence of organic evolutions? All these things, how do we know? How can we prove that they are actually true? First is seen in fossil records. Fossils are the remains, the casts and the impressions of plants and animals that are preserved in rocks when they were being formed. So the remains, the casts, the impression of plants and animals that are preserved in the rock when they were being formed are called fossils. So from this record, from the analysis of these remains, life development can be traced directly in greater detail to find out their sequence in which they occur. And that's what they do in paleontology, genealogy, and the rest. So they go to investigate on fossils, remains that they found in ancient places over 1,000 years ago and as long as that. So the sequence, they check it, okay, this, we found terracotta here, we found this, so they were able to say, okay, so and so years, we have these people, we have this, that, they used to do like this because of this evidence that we found. Then the next evidence is the embryology, the study of embryos of vertebrates, showing a remarkable degree of similarities in the structure formed and the steps followed. Before birth, all vertebrates, including man, pass through a stage of development in which